Brian, I want to start with you because you reached out to the FCC Chairman Carr. What did he tell you?
And he sent me the GIF that we will put on screen, Anderson. It's a picture from the old NBC sitcom The Office of the stars of The Office celebrating some ridiculous moment on the show. So he is celebrating Disney's capitulation here. And I think we should step back and remember.
Wait a minute, wait, hold
started
on.
this
Wait a minute, Brian. We're putting this on the screen, and I just gotta. We can't. This is you. You said this is a tweet you sent. You said I asked the FCC for a response, and the chairman of the FCC sent you this video.
Correct. I then replied and I said, do you have anything quotable I can use? But let me give you the context of that, Anderson. Carr and I have been in touch for months as I've been reporting on the FCC. He's been very aggressive about using the media to try to pressure companies like Disney. I remember he did this right before Christmas. He sent me a letter that he was sending to Bob Iger, the head of Disney, trying to pressure Disney over something else. And earlier tonight, Carr texted me celebrating the fact that Nexstar, the station owners you mentioned, who had already pulled Kimmel, he was celebrating and thanking Nexstar for taking that action. You know, Disney was the first company to capitulate to President Trump before Inauguration Day. Disney settled that ABC lawsuit in December. That moment emboldened Trump and his allies, and this moment will embolden them again more.
Kara Swisher, what is your reaction to this?
Well, Brendan Carr is rather thirsty for attention. That's one thing, and it's unbecoming a public official. But that's nothing new for him. This is what he does. I mean, I think one thing you're leaving out is Nexstar is trying to do a very large merger with Tegna, and so they will do whatever it takes to satisfy someone
that's important.
who's a kind of a toady to Donald Trump.
Right. That's an important point because that merger would require the approval of the FCC. Correct.
Correct. That's correct. And so they're trying to do anything he can do to shake them down on behalf of Donald Trump. He's doing, which is including these people who are alleged free speech warriors have turned out to be, cancel culture fans. And so, Jimmy Kimmel also tweeted something out saying he was so sorry for this death and we should put aside our differences. He's a comic. Comics should be able to make jokes. I don't understand. Of all the people that should have free speech, comics should absolutely have free speech. And so this week has been sort of an object lesson that they never really cared about free speech. They just care about power. And that's what's happening here.
Kara, I just want to read the statement, or at least part of the press release that Nexstar issued. They said, Nexstar Media Group, Inc. today announced that the company's owned and partner television stations affiliated with the ABC television network will preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk. Will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located. Continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the current time, and we made the difficult decision to preempt the show. That's the company you're talking about, which is wanting to do this merger.
Yeah. That's correct, and they should have added, and we would really like to do this merger, so we'll do whatever it takes. And then it flows uphill. It's the opposite. It doesn't flow downhill. It flows uphill to ABC, to Bob Iger, who is obviously also suspended Kimmel. And, people do, this happens in companies all the time where people say things and they get fired and this and that. But in this case, it's really a sensitive issue around free speech and comics and others being able to say what they want. And if this week has been anything, it's proof that free speech meant nothing to these people. And this was not their main concern. What their main concern was control of media. And this is yet another step, and they will continue to do so, including the lawsuit against the New York Times, the lawsuit against some publishing houses, and it follows universities and law firms. It's a textbook autocratic takeover.
We should point out President Trump has just now put something on his social media saying, quote, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC." President DJT.
Yeah.
Jeff Toobin, I mean, what do you have we seen anything like this?
No, we haven't. But I think it's important to draw a distinction here. You know, the private companies are not covered by the First Amendment. You know, if ABC wants to fire Jimmy Kimmel or anyone else, that's their business, and the First Amendment doesn't guarantee anyone a place on late night television. The problem here is what's going on with the FCC and Carr, who is obviously trying to put pressure on ABC to get rid of Kimmel, and that's completely improper. You know, whether what he has done crossed the line to a violation of the First Amendment, I don't know. I mean, the facts are changing every few minutes. But the chilling part of this story is what the Trump administration in general is doing with regard to the media. It is using its power, often in the case of regulating mergers and the business aspects of what these companies do, in a way to extort these companies to toe the line. Fire Jimmy Kimmel, crack down on 60 Minutes, force you know, a payment of damages for something George Stephanopoulos said that never should have resulted in a lawsuit. All of this is the government taking action against private companies for speech, and that's really about that implicates the First Amendment.
Well, also we had the president, you know, essentially threatening, I don't know if threatening is the right word, but going after Jonathan Karl and ABC just, I think it was yesterday, I don't know if we have that video ready to queue up, but in which he talked about the settlement that ABC gave him. He repeatedly said, look, they paid me $16 million. So let's play that.
You know, when you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the.
What do you make of Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
Should probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech, so maybe they'll have to go after you.
It's a perfect illustration of what happens when you capitulate once. You invite more capitulation again.
Stephen, I mean, have you ever seen anything like this?
I mean, you really have to wonder about the future of broadcast television because of this. It's unprecedented, and it's because this is an industry that is dependent on regulation, on government regulation. They get licenses to use the public airwaves, and now they're beholden to the government.
It's also the corporations which own, you know, increasingly it's large corporations which own this, which are particularly vulnerable.
Well, that's why Brandon Carr realizes that's a pressure point, because TV station group owners like Nexstar, the largest one in the country, they are desperate for consolidation. Right now, they're limited to reaching 39% of the country. But you know, tech companies can reach everybody, everywhere. They feel that's unfair. They want to consolidate. They want more stations, and it's the FCC who just decides that. Nexstar has to deal to buy Tegna, and certainly ABC is probably looking at its options in terms of combining stations, swapping stations, buying more stations. They all want to do this. They all need FCC approval, and that's a key reason why you're seeing this.
But it's not just broadcast television. It's all of media, including cable, for example. I mean, remember back in the first Trump administration when AT&T tried to buy Time, you know, was buying Time Warner, you know, the parent company of CNN. The Trump administration challenged that. So the Trump administration and any administration has tremendous tools to use if they want to punish broadcasters or any kind of news organizations if they want to use that power. And here we have them using that power over and over again.